land of pixels and streams. There's a jolly figure, or so it seems, with a belly round and a heart so grand. He's the YouTube grifter, the joy of the land. Oh, he's as fast as Santa, but he comes all year, bringing laughter, joy, and a bit of cheer. Not just once in December, but every single day. Our YouTube grifter in his own special way. He's got a knack for stories, both wild and true. With a twinkle in his eye, he'll entertain you. From baking fails to epic wins, he's the gift that keeps on giving. Let the fun begin. Oh, he's as fat as Santa, but he comes all year, bringing laughter, joy, and a bit of cheer. Not just once in December, but every single day. Our YouTube grifter in his own special way. He's got around your screens, and don't be shy. He's got a tale to tell and a pie in the sky. With every click and every view, he's spreading holiday spirit just for you. Oh, he's as fat as Santa, but he comes all year, bringing laughter, joy, and a bit of cheer. Not just once in December, but every single day. Our YouTube grifter in his own special way. So here's to the grifter, our digital friend. May his joy and laughter never end. With a ho, 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 and a hearty cheer. Merry Christmas to all, and a Happy New Year.
Welcome back, everyone. This is annoying. Well, I can mute it for you guys, and then we can get back to talking about this wonderful. We had a group meeting. Marissa called me and said, "You're not selling this. You're back to your old ways where you get annoyed that the case is going badly. Come on, grift the case." So gonna do this. Do I have a intro? Yeah. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Joseph Ferlazzo trial. A high-paced, high-energy trial that we have been following. It's a case filled with a lot of twists and turns. This morning, we were lucky enough to watch him being interviewed. We saw parts of it on Friday where he admitted to doing it, but today it was even better. We got to watch how he reacted to all of the news that the police already knew he done it. He was a mess. He hit it well. He seemed calm, but for a trained eye like mine and yours, because you, like me, know trials, we knew that guy did it. He was emotional turmoil. You could see it everywhere in his body. He had a very telling tell that he was distraught. He was constantly checking his little peen. A clear sign from an expert that he knew the gig was up. But even more impressively, they had audio recordings of him in the holding cell asking him very, very poignant, good questions that laid this trial out open. This guy will really have to prove his weight, I don't know, on the stand. But I can tell you, if it's been exciting up till now, you just wait. I'm not saying you should take your socks off already like this weirdo did, but they might be blowing off. This case is AMAZIENGI. Amazing. It's probably one of the most intricate cases we have had so far. People will say, where were you because you weren't watching the Joseph Ferlazzo trial? So, lucky you, 30 people here, because you and I together will experience hard-hitting police work, pretty good defense work, and a prosecutor who is on the case. Is it okay now, Marissa? I did. He slept in my arms. That's nice. The most amazing thing is that you really cannot decide if he's guilty or really guilty. Again, let's get the facts straight. She was nagging. I'm possible reason to do it. Hey, Katie, how are you doing? Hey, Spree. Back after a horrible weekend with the storm internet back up, so now I got a lot to catch up on. The good thing you don't have to catch up on anything that happened this morning because we were just watching a man sitting in a chair asking stupid questions, and then we heard a guy who had a recorder in his jacket, so he couldn't hear anything. It was some of the most. I think someone's been on the coffee. No, I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee in roughly an hour and 30 minutes when I'm gonna prepare for my first 12 days of creator stream with Alice Nurke Cloud. And because I'm gonna end this at 1:30, no, 2:30. I have to think. 2:30, because then I have 30 minutes to powder my face and get a cup of coffee, and we can just do. We never met before, so we're gonna meet up in the green room and just say hello to each other. So we know how to address all you fine people when you join us for the first creator for Christmas. Hey, Melissa, you already. I haven't even gotten. I paid for tracking on all my packages. I haven't gotten any. I sent 8 packages. Yeah, 8 packages. I haven't gotten one logged into the system yet. But how long? So that's taken 5. Did I send them? I think I sent them Wednesday, Thursday last week. So that's pretty fast. But thank you for letting me know that they already arrived. That's impressive because normally they'll be stuck in customs for a couple of days. But I hope you'll enjoy it, and they will look good on your Christmas tree. No, that person who gifted her that Yankee candle, she started this. She owes her. It was probably Jamie. If it smelled like vanilla, I'm blaming Jamie. Yes, he is the German streamer. Yeah, he is the guy who covers trials and then simultaneously interprets it into German. We're going to do it in English. I'm going to do a little lead in because if his viewers are coming over, I'm trying to do a little German. It's going to be horrible, worse than my English. But then we'll do it in English. I'm so excited. It made it to Tennessee in record time. Yeah, that's it says normally it says in best circumstances 6 to 8 days. So and around Christmas, that's really fast. It says December 3rd, so only 6 days to get here. Yeah, with two weekend days. I watched him a little, but I don't understand German. No, but we're going to do it in English. It's just we have people from Europe here who understand English. Helen from Holland, me, Fedorowski, Marissa. Helene T is from Austria, so she speaks German. So it was just, and it's more. This series is more of me trying to meet new friends, show you people some new streamers, some old streamers, some people you know, some people you. I think the smallest account I have reached out to has less than 500 subscribers. Pretty new. I have another one who. Well, this tonight will be his first co-stream with someone else, so it's going to be interesting as well. I think one of them wrote me they never did a live stream. They only did recorded videos before, so it's going to be interesting. And it's kind of like my angels on the Saturdays, where let's meet new people and let them meet you because you are one of the nicest chats on the YouTubes. Was that what I was supposed to say, Jamie? They are the nice. You are the nicest chat on YouTube. Well, again, I should have had tracking notifications on my. FD Food Fairy sent me a package that I have an app for the postal service, and I know that today a package was delivered to her. I was actually sitting. No, it was delivered into the system from her, but I have had no notice that any of my packages have been shipped. So I was actually about to get mad and go down to the store because not that it's anything. Well, it is something, but um, I spent like $160 in shipping. So I would like it to arrive to you. Kaputa Becher is your German name. No, Bacher zerstört. Yes, I love the international chat as well. It's so when I not don't get up too late. Yes, I'm sorry, Iris and Marissa. The morning shows I have is actually quite fun because there's a lot of Aussies in there because that's their afternoon. So yeah, wunderbar. Yeah, because one of the things we do as streamers is we sit here and say, okay, now okay, I can get 100 people to watch me streaming. I'm gonna protect my 100 people. But if I don't stream and I can see right now Lefty is streaming, probably not something for all of my audience, but yeah, I can ship you over there, or like I did with Ada K or Crime and Coffee. Help some of the smaller creators out, and some of the you can send them to bigger creators that are good entertainment. Um, I like that redirection because it's sometimes you feel a little. I think a lot of YouTubers think I'm going to protect my little corner of the internet, but I got a big bump when the recovery addict redirected to me, and there's a lot of people who's been nice, Megan Fox, Legal Vices, people like that who's redirected to me and given me a chance. So I'm gonna redirect to other people. Yeah, you could also be nice to him. Hey, Jen, you haven't gotten yours yet, but doing this season shipping is slow. Well, I still would like an update on my app that I paid. I'm this time I think it's equals pretty much out, but normally I pay more for shipping than I do for the things I give away. So it's nice when you get also because then I know if you wrote me and said, "Hey, it's been 4 weeks, nothing has arrived," and I can see, oh well, it got denied because I had one returned to me because it had a wrong name. And again, I put in the names you give me, but I'm just happy that at least one of them has arrived. Hey, Danielle. But maybe it was this time everything was in America, so that should be pretty well. I don't know if that's going to make it easier. The last time I had Australia, Scotland, England, Canada, and the US. So that was all over the world. But it's the same price for shipping to any of them, so it doesn't. Um, I made the cookies last week. Recipe is on the Discord. Yes, we covered this morning. Yeah, apparently, if the food fairy was trying to ship stuff to me that she wasn't allowed to ship, and when I heard what it was, I was, "That can't be right, that's stupid." I just checked, is it okay to send toys and candy? And that was okay, but apparently T-shirts couldn't be shipped. That sounds stupid. Yeah, and the donkey hearing also ended in a big win for them. It's Christmas. Zach, don't show Danielle your muscle. All of it is in the Discord.
Saying I haven't really eaten
Hey, I'm a professional. Thank you so much, Zach, because I can hear it in my ears.
much and I've been up for days.
Yes, I do.
And then he followed that up by saying my mind isn't right. Do you recall that?
I remember something to that effect, yes.
Okay. Did you or Detective Vorst didn't inquire further as to what he meant by that, did you?
No.
You had no concerns at that point that he might not be able to provide an accurate account of what happened because he was saying at the outset, my mind isn't right. Is that correct?
Yes.
That was a long question, sorry. And at various points during the interview, Mr. Ferlazzo stated that he was really tired, correct?
I don't know how many times he stated it, but yeah, I know that he stated at least once that he was tired.
Fine, thank you. Do you recall about an hour into the interview, roughly, Mr. Ferlazzo said, I'm just really tired. I don't know what day it is now. I'm not able to have a clear thought. Do you recall that?
Not specifically, no, I don't.
Okay. Would it help if I showed you the transcript to refresh your recollection?
Sure, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to show you, oh, I haven't marked it, sorry.
I have, it's defendants A.
So I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit A, and I'm going to give you the page and the lines where that particular section is located. All right. I'm going to show you, this is the transcript of the entire first segment of the interview, and this is page 32, and it's lines 11 through 13, and yeah, that's, take a look at that.
Could you repeat your question?
I just asked if you recall saying that at that point in the interview. So-
Right. Can you reference what he said, what you're asking me?
Sure, sorry about that. So I asked you if you recall about an hour into the interview, Mr. Ferlazzo saying, "I'm just really tired," really be able to reference something about falling into a hole. And I don't know what day it excuse me, it is now. I'm not able to have a clear thought.
Yes.
Thank you. And again, looks like there was no concern about resuming the interview, no concern that he wasn't able to provide accurate information. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you recall, Joseph, at one point, Mr. Ferlazzo was being asked to provide more details about what happened on Friday and early Saturday, and he said, "All I can remember is like a jumble. It was basically like flashes, like if you go to a disco and look up and there's nothing."
Yes, I do.
Again, that type of jumble and flashes did not concern you as far as the way he was thinking?
Excuse me. It didn't, because before and after, he gave other accounts of the way he was feeling and felt at the time, which made sense to me.
Okay, thank you. About an hour and 10 minutes into the interview, do you recall Mr. Ferlazzo suddenly putting his head down and suddenly asking for water?
I don't.
Okay. At that point, you don't recall that you and Detective Boris, when he put his head down and asked for water, both of you did in fact say, "Okay, we'll get you some water," and then you left.
I don't remember that, no.
All right. And Detective Truex came in, so I'm guessing on the video at that point, he was hyperventilating and crying. So you did not witness that, is that accurate?
No.
Okay. And then the questioning resumed roughly 15 minutes, roughly, after that. Correct? It resumed after you.
Yes, it resumed after, yes.
Thank you. You drafted a report detailing the actions that you took on the case between October 19th, 2021 and October 21st, 2021, correct?
Yes.
And in the report, you stated that the interview of Mr. Ferlazzo on the 19th of October 2021 occurred in multiple segments over several hours in various locations within and outside the barracks, correct?
Yes. Yep.
The first segment, I'll just reference it the way you did, that was the initial interview with some breaks, understandably, but the initial interview, which took approximately 2.5 hours, is that accurate?
Yeah.
Let's see, and I think at that point, it looks like, so the interview ended at that point, that segment at about 5 o'clock. Is that correct?
I mean, I can't confirm that. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds accurate.
At that point, I think you and Detective Boris left and Mr. Ferlazzo laid down on the floor. Do you recall that?
Yes, I remember him laying down.
Okay. And
Well, he did admit, and he told them where the saw blade was.
although we can't tell, it's assumed that he was probably sleeping, but he was laying down on the floor, whether he was sleeping or not, correct?
Yes, he was laying down on the floor.
Okay. And then at about 6 or 10 minutes of 6, after he'd been laying on the floor, he was moved to a holding cell, correct?
Yes.
And then the next interaction with Mr. Ferlazzo was approximately 8:10, and I think you and Detective Boris woke him up to see if he was okay, and then at that point, took him outside the barracks for a cigarette, correct?
Yes.
And then we brought him back into the holding cell around 8:15 and he laid back down, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at about 9:18, you and Detective Morris woke him up again, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm confirming that we did wake him up. I can't verify the times, but yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm referring to times. If you would like, yeah, we can always look at it, but. And then you did have at that point, you wanted to ask him a few more things and asked him if he was willing to answer more questions, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Watch Off Trials, for giving me a little bit for my sanity of this trial. Yeah, this is moving at a snail's pace, and we're talking about a snail pace in molasses going uphill.
He was groggy at that point, correct?
No, I wouldn't say groggy.
Okay. As alert as he was previously, or?
Yeah, I would say so.
And you told him again that you had some additional questions. I believe you also gave him the option of going back to the interview room or remaining in the holding cell, correct?
James asked him,
Okay.
gave him the choice.
It's hard. It was hard to tell since that was audio. All right, thank you. And do you recall Joseph responding by stating, "I'm just trying to let my mind rest"?
Yes.
Okay. But at that point, you resumed the questioning, correct?
Yeah.
And I believe that lasted about another 20 minutes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
No redirect, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're all set.
Another witness where they just wanted
Found the
something in.
that the evidence you showed good relative to the cause now in consideration, shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth. To the pains and all.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, that's the elf who was in the room with him. So now he's going to testify. Yeah, we had some talks, and she's going to ask him, did he seem rattled?
Please state your name and spell your last name.
Yeah, my name's Samuel Truex.
So they didn't live in the school bus. They just made the bus to start doing the living in a van thing. It's the first trip they ever was on. But, Scott, the most important part, she was nagging.
Truex.
The acoustics are not great in this room, so if you can keep your voice up so that the back jurors can hear you.
Okay.
Can you tell us how you are currently employed?
I am currently retired from the Vermont State Police.
Okay. And when did you retire?
November 30th of this year.
And how long had you been employed at the Vermont State Police?
Over 26 and a half years.
All right. So you were employed with them in October of 2021?
Yes, I was.
And at some point, did you become involved in the investigation related to Emily Ferlazzo?
Yes, on Tuesday, October 19th, 2021.
And how did you become involved?
Detective Lieutenant John Paul Schmidt asked me to respond to the St. Albans barracks and said that there was a missing person complaint that was suspicious in nature.
Okay. And upon arrival at the barracks, were you given a specific task?
I was given a couple tasks. One was to sit in on the interview with Joseph Ferlazzo.
Okay. And during that, did you have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Ferlazzo yourself?
Yes, I did.
And the jury has seen the video. So are you the individual that sort of comes in during the breaks and sits with Mr. Ferlazzo?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And the first time that you went into the interview room, was Mr. Ferlazzo eating?
Yes, he was.
And did you ask him if he needed anything?
I believe Amy got him lunch, and then Seth was in the process of getting him some hot coffee at his request.
Okay. And at any point, did you ask him if he needed anything else?
He asked me, or he told me he had to go to the bathroom at one point, so I escorted him down the hall to the bathroom and back.
Okay. And at one point during the interview, Mr. Ferlazzo asked you to stay in the room with him?
Yes, he asked me if I'd sit down and stay in there with him.
Okay. Were you planning on doing that anyway?
I was.
Scott, he was almost twice her age. So, have you listened to a 21-year-old talk?
Wasn't, but I agreed to do that.
Okay. And did you have a conversation with him during that time?
Yes.
And who initiated that conversation?
I think he initiated it.
Did he ask you questions about taking him somewhere?
He made a comment. He asked me if we're going to take him someplace so he can't do that again.
Okay. And how did you respond?
I don't recall exactly what my response was.
Okay. What are some of the other things that you talked about with Mr. Ferlazzo?
He just asked me generally about myself, the police. We talked about, I asked him questions about being a tattoo artist, what was his favorite part. He asked me what my favorite part of being a police officer was. He asked kind of about like the team of detectives and how things worked, where everybody was assigned. We talked about his dog Remington. I told him that Remington was at his friend Jason's house and that the dog was okay being there, but you probably would have to make arrangements for long term.
At any point, have you ever sat in on interviews like this before in your career?
Yes.
Have you interviewed people who have been charged with murder before?
I have.
And at any point during your interactions with Mr. Ferlazzo, did you have any concerns about his ability to be engaging in a conversation with the police?
No, our conversation went both ways. He was actually very cordial and nice to me, and
This guy didn't discuss the unaliving. He was just there to keep an eye on him when the other detectives was out. It was him who was there when he had his breakdown that lasted all of a minute.
he asked questions. I asked questions of him. It was just a give and take.
Okay. And at some point, were you able to find him a cigarette at his request?
Yeah, he asked for a cigarette. I asked one of the detectives who brought one in, and then we brought him outside for a cigarette break, I think on 2 different occasions.
Okay. And he made some comments about possible self-harm. Do you recall that?
Yeah, at one point he said he wished someone would take him out. And I had said to him that if you have any thoughts of hurting yourself, you need to let me know. He says, well, if I had a gun, I would do it. But I don't have a weapon, so I can't. All I have is this hot coffee.
And again, did him making those
Hawk Coffee, is that like the Quartering's coffee brand coffee? Is then Hawk Coffee, is that the Haktua Girls coffee brand? I should grift some coffee.
comments give you any concerns about his ability to continue to engage in a conversation?
No, I was just concerned for my safety, being in the room with him, and just for his own safety as well.
Okay. And when you would leave the room and come back in, did he recall who you were?
Yes.
Did he recall you by name?
Yes. When I left after, he was still eating, he just said, "Thank you, Sam,"
Okay.
when I stepped out of the room.
And when you'd come back in the room, did he recall your name?
Yes.
Did you ever feel like he wasn't responding to your questions appropriately?
No.
At any time that he asked for anything, did you get him what he asked for? Or did anytime he asked for
Baker coffee when you need to get up in the morning.
food or drinks?
Yeah, if he needed food, if he wanted another hot coffee, to use the bathroom, another cigarette, we were very accommodating.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Ms. Chair.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, you've described kind of almost like a switch flipping back and forth between engaging in small talk with Mr. Ferlazzo and him expressing concerns about, or him becoming upset. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
And both of those occurred during your interactions with him, right?
yes,
You do recall him saying at least once that his brains were scrambled, don't you?
yes,
And that he was not thinking clearly. You recall that as well.
yeah. He said that he needed to talk to an expert that could help him because of his an expert in scrambled brains.
Scrambled brain.
Well, the each sleeping with their pew-pews might not be exactly true. But again, she was nagging. And she beat him with a candle and kicked him in the bolos.
Yes,
And you responded by saying, yes, we have people you can talk to.
yes.
And he never did talk to any kind of mental health person after he was processed, did he?
I don't know if he did.
But that's what you told him would be available to him, correct?
Yes, and I said that we, as in like the state of Vermont corrections, have that access for that. Yes.
You observed that he, at one point, started hyperventilating, correct? Breathing like this.
I know what that is. I was just trying to recall. I haven't seen the video, and
You didn't, I'm sorry?
I didn't review the video before coming here. Today.
Okay.
I don't have access.
And you don't have a recollection of being in the room when that happened?
I feel like I remember him crying or starting to cry a couple times,
Sobbing.
sobbing. Yes.
And you said to him, are you okay, right?
I did ask him if he was okay, and he told me he was not.
He was not, that's what he said, I'm not okay.
Yes.
Um,
And I told him that he's going to have to take it one day at a time, that it's going to take time.
So you were, correct me if I'm wrong, trying to calm him down. Is that a fair assessment of the kinds of things you were saying to him?
I was just trying to reassure him,
Reassure him about what?
just the traumatic incident that he's involved in, just the kind of things are going to be okay, trying to just keep a steady.
He also said to you that more than once, what happens next? Because he seemed to be unfamiliar with the process. Do you remember that?
I don't recall exactly.
Okay. And you were aware that the interview was being live streamed to another room, correct?
Yes.
So he was under observation by other law enforcement the entire time, correct?
Yes, he was.
So even if you didn't observe his complete, I'm going to call it meltdown, he was being observed, correct?
And that was all recorded in that room as well.
In that room.
Yes.
One moment, please, Judge.
So she finally got him to say, yeah, his mind was a little scrambled. It doesn't mean that they can't use his testimony in court, because the jury are the finders of the fact and will have to watch the video, which we did, and figure out if he's trustworthy or not compared to how he acts if he takes the stand.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions for you.
Okay.
Any redirect?
No, Judge.
Thank you. You're all set.
Do we take a break? Oh, jeepers. We're just back. We've been back for less than 20 minutes. Let me turn off the audio again, so I only have to hear that annoying sound. How many metaphors I can come up with for football? Do I use many football metaphors? Yeah, she looks like she could sleep for a week. Yeah, and good that he he got out of that one. That was a First Amendment, if anything. Yes. Oh, those. Oh, I thought I don't speak that much about football. There's handball tonight. Denmark playing Slovenia. You need a Yankee candle. Jamie can give you a Yankee candle when you go on your Christmas retreat with her. In this case, we've seen almost everything. If it in this case. See, I got it now. But now we have the 3 officers who was in the room. Did we need all 3 of them? No, but we got them. You're more of a Bath and Body Works candle girl. Oh my. They're too expensive. I make my own. Hopefully we can soon get to some facts in this case, because everything we got out of that interview, we got within the first 12 minutes. I did it. And then we wasted, now we wasted a day in total. We wasted half a day Friday and half a day today listening to nothing. And this sound is driving me crazy to have that in my ears as feedback when I'm talking. That's not annoying at all. You used to play handball as a youngster. Well, we called it pocket pool. Well, if you have your hand around your boleros at the same time, you're doing it wrong, Zach. But you were a youngster at the time. Hope your technique has improved since then. That's one of the things. We had it's a couple of years back. I had someone complaining about, it was back when I smoked. Oh, you smell like tobacco smoke. Oh, you should be more considerate. Said, do you know how much all of that perfume you have on right now is annoying my smell? I don't have well, I'm sensitive to it just like you. And she smelled like she spilled the bottle on herself. Well, I'm going to school, so I should be allowed to wear perfume. That's not a health risk. So my tobacco smoke smell isn't a health risk either. It's the smoke that's the health risk. Yeah, that's what Lally hears all day. I once had a Yankee candle that was fresh cut grass scent to fool the then wife into thinking I mowed the lawn. If she believed that one, sadly, you will never be able to visit Jamie because she has more melted wax and scented candles than most department stores. I won't say what I said earlier, Jamie, because you got mad. I hate perfume and cologne. I don't mind. It depends on what it is, but nothing is worse. Back some years ago, I did some school thing, and I took the bus there in the winter because when it was snowing and stuff like that, it was easier to just take the bus and stop right outside the door. And the morning bus into town is, I've been in whorehouses that smelled better. It was all these younger women who just it's like when the young guys in the gym empties a bottle of Axe on themselves every time they take a shower. Well, then don't feed him fat-inducing food. Hmm. Yeah, and when you have a bus full of 18 to 20-year-old young women who's going to school, and all of them think, "Oh, this is the bestest ever. My house smells like an amazing gourmet bakery whorehouse." Um, yeah, there was 2 handguns, 1 shotgun, and 1 or 2 rifles in the truck, but none of them were in her name, and none of them were under the pillows. So, nope, still annoying. So, the story doesn't add up. Don't fart. Yeah, that's and too many of those, and it can't be good for you. The whatever particles it makes, you can't have. They really want to ban. You call them a stoves, not stove, um, like a fireplace thingy, but you can close it. They want to ban them because all the microparticles. But you can buy all of that crap. It can't be good for you. It's just constantly putting perfume in your house. Actually, think I have 2 candles standing up there. I think I bought them last Christmas in IKEA. Maybe I haven't lighted one. I don't candle much because I'm lonely and have no women to look deep in the eyes over the candle lights. Lonely, I'm so lonely. FED is fat in Danish. So fat vanilla bourbon smell is amazing. So how many days was she? Uh, wasn't it 2 days? No, he did do it on Friday, and I think they found her Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, and that's so stupid because all those places that is now, you can't vape outside, you can't smoke outside. It's the same people, the same places they legalize weed and say, well, of course you can smoke it outside. But weed smoke has shown to be way more carcinogenic than tobacco. Well, that's different. No, it's not. But I would forget to put them out, and I'm always sitting here, so I could turn those 2 on, but you probably wouldn't even see them on screen. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Well, the candle attack was before he chopped her up, so no, but I bet you people want it legalized, over there because, Germany just had some rule where it was okay that they could, um, grow for their own use. I'm thinking, how long have they been out now? Is he gonna plead guilty in the middle of it because he knows it sounds so stupid? That could be wonderful. Um, but in Germany, they have legalized it partly, and they're talking a lot about it here in Denmark. No, you have to the hemorrhoids, you have to rub it with a potato that you dug up in the middle of the night. That's how it works, Zach. Mm. We had it on my football stadium that you weren't allowed to smoke anymore on the stands. That's Do they know who comes to those games? Um, I think that it was never upheld, but the rule is because it's the city that owns the stadium, you couldn't do it. But well, you go in and tell 10,000 people, "Hey, stop smoking." It's gonna be a little bit of a riot. But I was on and I have some friends who's fans of a club over near Copenhagen who has a little bit of crazy fans, and we did a train ride to another city just to go out. It was over the Easter, so we went because everyone had the day off the next day, so we could get drunk and watch some football. And we was in one train compartment. There was the other one. The one we were in were the older guys like me, and we were sitting there drinking, listening to music. I had to go up and pee, and there's like this little intersection where the doors to the outside is, and then there's the other compartment. And I could it smells so much of weed. It was just going to the toilet it was like a cloud in. And when I looked in through the door, they were just railing lines and smoking up in there. And I was pretty sure it's illegal to smoke just a cigarette in a train in Denmark, but they figured out, let them just do it in there so they don't trash the train. Good news, everyone. The Gamecocks are playing at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on New Year's Eve. I know you will all want to tune in. We will. Sadly, I can't watch them in Denmark. I get a lot of... I Googled something about Tennessee once, so now I got a lot of Indian channels that they want to show me college football. Probably not legal.
All right, I should be able to deal with this without my computer. How are we doing?
We're doing great, Judge. There's no objections to any of the physical evidence. And the state has a lot of photographs. I believe the only objection on any of those is maybe reassessing an objection about the body, the pictures of Mr. Ferlazzo.
Right.
But I'm sort of hopeful we can just do all of that now, and then we can
Sure.
just present all the evidence as
Sure.
stipulated.
I mean, and
Aside from those.
Ms. Jantz wants to bring that all up again in front of the jury one way or another. Let's get that done. Okay, so which exhibit numbers would you, is the
Jamie, the Ohio State made it to the playoffs.
30s, the ones, or are there some before that that you want to address?
I use the vape. That's the best thing.
25 to 36.
Vaping is way better for me. Not medical advice. Turn the phone
25 to 36.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't do the objection.
That's the thing I hate about legalized weed. People are thinking, well, it's illegal, so I can do it. It's the same as drinking and driving. I really, really dislike people who think it's okay because it's just weed. No, you're impaired. Don't drive.
Objection, because it's your witness.
Do we need this right now? Or can we move that at this point? Oh, you're going to use that for all these exhibits?
Yeah.
It's just, I'm sorry I can't see you, Ms. Johnson.
I can move it back. I
Can
just wanna
you,
make sure that
just at least for now, while we're talking about this, and then we can move
Just to
it back.
clarify, Judge, do you want us to renew the grounds for the objection to exhibits 22 to 36?
Well, you can renew it for the reasons already stated, or if there's anything you wish to add to those reasons, you may bring that up now.
Renewing it for the reason. Go ahead.
Just renewing it, Judge.
All right.
Same objection.
Is there anything specific in my order? I did mention other things regarding specific tattoos that were reflected. Do you care if those come in? No? So the only exhibit I thought about, if I can get it back up. And I don't think, gotta find it. Maybe.
What
Come
numbers?
on.
32, 33, 34.
We have
32,
No,
40 minutes
32
till we
is
leave.
not the one I'm thinking of.
32 is not
Please. It was the,
Please don't operate a motor vehicle.
I think it's
Because they took a guy in Pennsylvania. A guy who
31,
apparently is some kind of
the kind of close-up
climate
of the
ghetto.
chest and stomach area. It seemed to me another picture got it from a little further back without it being quite so suggestive. And I wondered if we used that one.
Are you asking me, Your Honor?
Well, no, I finally got the picture up.
Which number is it, Judge?
It's 31. It's not, again, it's another picture which shows the whole body. It shows a touch more than the far off picture, which I think might have been 30. Let me see. But there was.
I don't.
Can I get the pictures for a second? I'm not getting them all on. Is it prejudicial in the sense of unfairly prejudicial that 403 speaks of? They're just pictures of his body.
And Judge, the reason I specifically also picked that one is because during the interview, he's pointing to that particular area and indicating that he might
Yeah, I
have
saw.
an injury there. So that was a specific choice made so that the jury has a closer up view of that area.
I'm going to allow them then for the reasons already indicated in my order.
If Your Honor would note my objection, our original objection.
We have in mind your
Thank you.
original objection. My understanding, though, is there's nothing specific to any of the tattoos that are reflected on the picture that's problematic. Other
A close up.
exhibits that you wanted to discuss.
Does it say I did it or else how can it be
So there's nothing else
bad
that,
tattoo?
no other photographs? Would you approach for 1 minute?
We just had 30 minutes of break and you couldn't figure that out over the 1 hour lunch break. Yeah, it does look like I'm thinking of someone who was in Band of Brothers, but I'm not sure. Yeah, he has very curly hair. This is such a waste of. I actually don't mind that I have to break early today because then we can speed run through this. This is really annoying. We're wasting so much time. Who said what? why are we a day and a half into trial and this isn't? Shouldn't they have fixed that last Monday when they had their last run before the trial and made sure which pictures could be shown and which pictures couldn't be shown? You said TV, yeah. Something about the eyes that makes me, but I can't tell. Normally, we're pretty good at finding lookalikes, but really can't get it. Maria. La, da, 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 da. I watched Grease. Was it Friday or Saturday night? I actually watched Grease again. Oh, God. Look at me, lousy Miss Virginia.
Ready for the jury?
Can't go to bed.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, let's bring them in.
I'm sorry. That was a good movie. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Who's that? Oh, that guy. He's too pretty to be him. Oh, Jeffrey Morgan is.
Are there any stipulations coming in?
All right, do you want them now?
You don't have to. You can do it, whatever's easiest for you in conducting your examination.
So, Sound of Music, the other one. Oh. Well, it's a great. Keep talking, keep talking. Real music. Right? My eyes to cry.
Please be seated. We're back in the record in State versus Joseph Ferlazzo, Junior 21 CR 8967. The parties have had an opportunity to meet and discuss various exhibits, and I think we're ready to proceed. Ms. George.
Thank you, Judge. The state would call Amy Nolan.
Raise your right hand, please. You solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause now under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and she was a real beauty. It wasn't that overdone. She was just a pretty woman walking down the street. Pretty woman, the kind I like to meet. Pretty woman. Sorry,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm getting tired.
The acoustics in this room are not good.
Okay.
So if you can keep your voice up so the jurors in the back can hear you, it'd be appreciated. Can you just start by telling us your name and spelling your last name? Actually, in your case, can you spell your first name as well?
Certainly, it's Amy, spelled Aimee. Last name Nolan, Nolan.
Okay. And
She's the one who took the
did you formally work for Vermont State Police?
I did.
Okay. And are you now retired?
I am.
When did you retire?
October of 2023.
Okay. So
Can you parties approach for 1 minute?
Oh! She has aged beautifully. Yes, she has. Yes, she should have been out frolicking. I think this is the lady that took the photos. Is that we saw it on the video? It's not that important. Well, I do sing when the mood strikes me, but it's not always I'm in the mood for singing. It's like now when I'm bored and my mind starts to wander, I start singing. Oh, the 1 hour streams at night isn't I sang Aqua one night. Only got 30 minutes to go. I can't remember the lyric for that one. No customer would come to you unless she was a crocheter, beauty school dropper, la da 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 la da la da, beauty school dropper. I think she's really down to earth. I've never seen anything really bad said about her. So, oh, thank you. But it's amazing how some of the characters really have a bad one after these.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
Hosea is called a hooker.
You were employed
Olivia
with the
Lee-
Vermont State Police in October of
Is she?
2021.
Correct.
Okay. And what was your rank at the time?
Detective Sergeant?
Okay. And was that your rank at the time of retirement?
Yes.
Oh, she
And
died
what was
in
your
22.
assignment with the Vermont State Police
I
at that
didn't know
time?
that.
I was the assistant commander of the crime scene search team.
You ruined my.
For the Vermont State Police.
Okay. And can you just tell us what that sort of generally means?
Sure. The crime scene search team is a team of 20 members and 2 commanders. We respond to homicides, officer-involved shootings, and other questionable death investigations. And the team specializes in processing the crime scene, collecting evidence.
Okay. Approximately how many crime scenes and death investigations have you participated in?
Well over 150.
And in mid-October, October 15th or 16th of 2021, were you made aware of an investigation related to Emily Ferlazzo?
I was not notified until the morning of October 19th.
Okay. So prior to that, you were not involved in the case?
No.
Okay. And what information were you provided on October 19th?
I received a call from the Major Crimes Unit Supervisor. One of the lieutenants advised that there was a new case, requesting my presence at the St. Albans Barracks for a briefing later that morning.
Okay. And did you in fact attend that briefing?
I did.
And what further information did you learn?
Excuse me. At that point, I learned that the state police was notified the prior day of a missing person, Emily Ferlazzo, that there were some suspicious circumstances surrounding that, that Mr. Ferlazzo, Emily's husband, had told a friend that he had killed her, and that the state police had seized a camper van as well as a Jeep that belonged to Mr. Ferlazzo.
Okay. And so what was your sort of plan or task for the day?
Initially, there was a lot of waiting around, learning new information as it was found. The search warrant was being worked on to be able to search the van and the Jeep. So I took it upon myself to sort of scour the internet, social media pages for both Emily and Joseph Ferlazzo, trying to find acquaintances that we might be able to interview, seeing if anyone had posted any comments or anything we could learn about Emily's potential whereabouts.
And at some point, did you take a break to go get food?
I had had lunch, but to be honest, I'd had enough coffee that morning, so I decided to go to the store, knowing it was going to be a late night. I wanted an energy drink and some snacks for the team once they got there. So I believe it was around 2 p.m. I did leave the barracks and go to a local convenience store.
Okay. And what was that convenience store called?
Maple Fields?
Okay. And that was in St. Albans?
Yes.
Right. And who did you go there with?
One of the other team members that had arrived at the barracks, Brandon Gallant.
Okay. And who drove?
I did.
What did you drive? What vehicle did you drive?
I drove my state-issued cruiser, if you will.
Okay. And can you describe that vehicle?
Sure. It's an F-150 truck with an extra cab and an extended bed on it. So it's a rather large vehicle.
Okay. How many seats are in the vehicle?
Technically seating for 6. It was a bench seat in the front and a bench seat in the back. But my back seat was full of equipment. And then in the front seat, I usually kept the center console folded down for like a drink holder, things like that. So most comfortably 2, impossibly 3.
Okay. And is there a secure area of this vehicle like many police cruisers?
No.
Okay. So the entire inside of
Is she the one who messed up her face with all the plastic surgery? Or is she the one? No, she's the one who played Catwoman. Is she still pretty? The other one who messed up her face, the one who was she married to Antonio Banderas or something? She really got bad plastic surgery.
it is accessible?
Open, correct.
Okay. Does it have any sort of Vermont State Police insignia on it?
No, completely unmarked.
What were you wearing that day?
I was wearing my crime scene
Who, if any,
uniform,
was driving the
which
ambulance?
is a pair of cargo style, I'd say tan pants, a green polo shirt with the state police emblem, and it said CSST on it. But that was covered with a
She
plain
could-
black
her
fleece,
face
so
is
I didn't
ruined.
have any obvious markings
Okay.
of state police on my person that day.
You weren't wearing a state trooper uniform that we've all
No,
seen?
I was not.
Okay. How far away is the Maples Fields from the St. Albans Barracks?
It's approximately a mile down the road.
So can you tell the jury what happened when you pulled into the Maple Fields?
Sure. Due to the size of the truck, it wasn't practical to park in sort of a normal parking spot, if you will. The back end of the vehicle would stick out several feet. So I often chose to park, not in a parking spot, along a parking lot edge or something like that. So as I pulled in to the entrance to the store, I had my eye on a spot where I wanted to park sort of parallel to the road. Well away from parking spots. I noticed a male was just sort of nonchalantly walking right where I wanted to park. So I was, I can't remember if I muttered it or if I just thought under my breath, like, oh my gosh, hurry up. That's where I want to park. So I sort of slowly, crawled behind the person until they diagonally cut across and went into the store.
And so once you entered the store, where did you immediately go?
Right to the back of the store where the coolers are located. That's where the energy drinks were.
Okay. And as you're walking towards the back of the store, did you notice anything?
I noticed that same male, I had sort of given him a nickname in my head of Hoodie because he was wearing his hood up. It was chilly that morning. And I noticed that same male that I had waited to move out of my way so I could park was also at the coolers. He had walked right to the back of the store as well.
Okay. And what was he doing?
He was getting a drink out of the cooler and sort of stepping back from the cooler
Okay.
at that time.
Did you recognize the male?
When he closed the door to the cooler and he turned around and we made eye contact, I was like, wait, I know this person. In that moment, I couldn't figure out where or why. My brain was still trying to catch up with me. But I knew I recognized him.
Okay. And
Looks like the mom.
did you ultimately determine how you recognized him?
Yeah, so he walked to the right and then turned to walk up to one of the aisles towards the front of the store, and he turned and looked at me again, and we locked eyes again, and at that point, I recognized that it was Joseph Ferlazzo.
Okay. And how did you recognize him? What have you seen?
So I had spent, like I said, a lot of that morning sort of scouring through social media. I had seen dozens of pictures of Mr. Ferlazzo as well as Emily. And then also our public information officer for the state police was at the barracks that morning. He was preparing a press release that he was getting ready to put out with photos, which included Mr. Ferlazzo. And he had asked me to proofread that for him just before I went to the store. So it was like another look at Mr. Ferlazzo's face right before I left.
Okay. And where did that mail go?
Up to the front of the store to the cash register area.
Okay. And so what was the next thing you did with that information?
I told Brandon that's Joseph
Still, we haven't seen Brandon since that guy got arrested in Pennsylvania. Just saying.
Ferlazzo. He's heading out of the store. I'm going to follow him.
Okay. And are you aware that this interaction with Mr. Ferlazzo was recorded?
Yes.
And how was it recorded?
Through the Maplefield surveillance video system.
Okay. And have you reviewed those?
I have seen those videos, yes.
Judge, I have a stipulation for the court.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, the guy with the CEO thingy thing. They arrested someone from New Jersey. Marissa said it was you. I would never say that.
States 120, stipulation number 5.
So I was told my voice was not quite loud enough last time, perhaps for some of you, so I'm going to read a little louder this time. Stipulation number 5. Members of the jury, the state and defendant Joseph Ferlazzo have agreed that you may find certain facts. This is called a stipulation. A member of the Vermont State Police collected surveillance video from the Maple Fields gas station in St. Albans, Vermont from October 19, 2021. That surveillance video was added to the case file and reviewed by Detective Sergeant Amy Nolan. The authenticity of the surveillance video is not being challenged. Chain of custody of the surveillance video is also not being challenged. As with any evidence in this trial, you must decide what weight you will give this stipulation. And that's Exhibit States 120, and no objection to that being admitted.
No objection.
Admitted without objection.
Today, Junior.
Judge, the state would next move to admit States 23, which is the first Maple Fields video.
No objection.
It states 23 without objection. I don't think that was for. Go back here. States 23 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Judge. Sorry about that.
We don't have gas stations that big in Denmark.
At some point in the video, you appear to look at your phone. Can you just tell the jury what you're doing?
Yes, I feel like my body language is pretty clear at the moment that I recognize him. And I turn back around, I take my phone out, I say something to the trooper I was with, and I take my phone out because I'm looking for that press release to show the picture to Brandon and to sort of confirm my suspicions that it was Joseph Ferlazzo.
Okay. And is there another angle of this same sort of interaction within Maple Fields?
There is.
Judge, the state would move to admit States 24, second Maple Fields video.
No objection.
States 24 is
Appeal in
admitted
a
without
closet.
objection.
I been to Bucky's, so I know how big it is. We are watching inside of a gas station where they spotted the suspect. I've been to a Bucky's. The expert took me there. Hey, expert. Did the guy in the beanie just pocket something? I think he pocketed something. "40 minutes.
So after seeing who you believe to be Mr. Ferlazzo in the Maple Fields, did you in fact follow him outside?
I did.
Okay. And did you approach him outside?
I followed behind him. He was walking along the front of the store.
Okay. And what did you do? What was your interaction?
I said, Joseph,
Okay.
and the male kept walking, no acknowledgement. So then I said something to the effect of, "Hey, state police, can you stop for a second? I just need to talk to you."
Okay. And did the male stop?
He did.
Okay. And what did you do? Once the individual stopped, did they?
No, it's It's because they have a very high noise gate on, and that's why it keeps clicking in and out. And I think I don't know anything, but it sounds like it tries to pick up audio that's not there.
Stop and actually turn around to face you and interact with you?
He did turn around and then took a very long, almost exaggerated drink of his energy drink, just looking at me, sort of the proverbial deer in the headlight look. It seemed to me, based on my training and experience, it was almost as if he were trying to figure out, fight, flight, freeze, what do I do?
Okay. And what did you say to him?
I said, Joseph, it's you, right? Are you okay?
Okay. And what did he do in reply?
He took his drink down and his body language sort of deflated. And he said, no, I'm not okay.
And what do you mean? Can you describe what you mean by his body language deflated?
Sure. As he was looking at me taking that drink, he seemed, quite tense. Again, sort of deer in the headlights. Do I run? Do I freeze? Do I fight? And he just sort of relaxed, if you will. Like I visibly saw his shoulders drop and his head kind of dropped a little bit. And he just said, no, I'm not okay.
Okay. How far away from you was he when you first said state police?
Probably 10 feet.
Jemima isn't the court caller. That's Marissa's job. She likes to yell at people.
Approximately.
All right. And what did you, after he said, no, I'm not okay, how did you respond to that?
I said, well, there's a lot of people looking for you and looking for Emily, and we're just trying to figure out where Emily is and what's going on. Her family's very worried about her.
And what was his response?
Let's go.
He said, let's go. Okay.
Random
And
again.
so what did you do?
I said, go where? And he said, wherever you're taking me. And I said, I'm not taking you anywhere. You're not under arrest. But if you want to come with me, I'll give you a ride to the barracks and we can get a detective to talk to you.
Okay. And did he agree to that?
He did.
Okay. And did you bring him in your vehicle?
We started to walk back across the parking lot towards my truck, yes. And stopped about halfway across the parking lot.
Okay. And why did you stop halfway across?
There was a moment where I thought Mr. Ferlazzo might pass out. He seemed a little unsteady on his feet. I said, you're okay. I asked his permission. I said, if it's okay, I want to just put my hand on your shoulder. And I did. And I said, I got you. I said, you're okay. I'll get you to the barracks and you can talk to somebody.
Okay. Did he make any statements or respond to that in any
No.
particular way? Okay. And so did you bring him back to the barracks?
I did. The other thing that we did sort of in that.
She wasn't. She was just going to get snacks and energy drinks. She wasn't in uniform, so it was a pure coincidence that it was him.
Halfway point was I asked him and explained before I could give him a ride. It was our sort of protocol that we had to pat somebody down for weapons before I could allow him in my cruiser with me, and also because I don't have a typical cruiser with what they call the cage in the back to separate the officer from a person that they've picked up for some reason. So he said that was fine. He indicated he had no weapons, so I patted him down real quick, and then I got into the driver's seat and Brandon walked him across to the passenger seat.
Okay. Did Brandon also get in the car?
He did not.
Okay. Was that because there wasn't any room?
Yeah, I told him I would come back and pick him up.
Okay.
I didn't think we needed to sit three across the front seat.
Okay. So it was just you and Mr. Ferlazzo in the ride back to the barracks.
Correct.
And did you speak to him during that time about Emily?
Not about Emily. I asked him, like I said, it was cold that day. I asked him, "Are you cold?" He said he was. I turned the heat up. I said, "Have you been out all night?" Based on the interactions that I knew had occurred the night before, he said he had. I asked him if he, was thirsty, if he was hungry. He said he was. And so again, I told him, I turned the heat up and I told him I would get him something to eat once we got back to the barracks.
How long were you in the truck with Mr. Ferlazzo?
Less than 5 minutes, probably.
Right. Did you see anything on the way to the barracks that sparked a conversation?
Yes, there was. So at one point in the video, as I start to walk towards the front of the store, I turned to Brandon and I told him to call dispatch to let them know what was happening. So that message had gotten relayed, and there was a trooper coming to the store, lights and sirens.
Okay. And did Mr. Ferlazzo say anything related to that?
He didn't. I sort of chuckled and said, "I think they're looking for us." I said, "But we're good, right?" And we continued on, and I placed a call to my lieutenant at that time.
And could Mr. Ferlazzo hear that conversation with your lieutenant?
Yes.
Okay. Did you make any other calls during that time?
I also actually, let me back up. Before calling my lieutenant, I got on the radio to dispatch and I clarified, I am in the truck with Mr. Ferlazzo. All units can stand down. I'm headed to the barracks.
Do you have a recollection of what time you arrived at the barracks?
I would say it was probably, if this interaction was around 2, as I remember, I would say probably 2:15.
Okay.
Approximately.
And when you arrived at the barracks, where did you park?
I drove around to the backside of the barracks, into the gated parking area of the barracks.
Okay. And did Joseph get out of the car?
I can't remember. I think I walked around to his side of the truck and opened the door for him, if I recall correctly.
Okay. And did you ultimately get him into the police barracks?
Yes, the station commander of the barracks was outside waiting for us, and together we walked inside the building, yes.
Okay. And did he still have the drink that he bought at Maple Fields?
At that point, I believe he did, yes.
But did you had said earlier you told him you would get him some food and drinks. Did you do that?
Eventually, yes. After a short period of waiting for an interview and a detective to be ready for Mr. Ferlazzo, as this was obviously not planned, I returned back to the store and got a sandwich and some chips.
Okay. At any point in your
It's always like that in big cases. Well, not in this case because he admitted it, but we try on this channel to keep an open mind. The only thing we all agree on is Brandon is probably in some way involved in both this case and this CEO case.
interactions with Mr. Ferlazzo, did you ask him any questions about Emily?
I did not.
Okay. And is the person that you identified in Maple Fields as Mr. Ferlazzo and brought back to the barracks, is he in the courtroom today?
He is.
Can you just describe to the jury what he's wearing?
Certainly. He's sitting at the defendant's table wearing tan pants, a light gray shirt, and a black tie.
The state would request that the record reflect that's Mr. Ferlazzo.
They're directed.
Is it your understanding that he was then interviewed by Detective Sergeant Boris?
Yes.
Okay. And were you told at some point after what he indicated had happened to Emily?
In stages, yes.
Okay. And so did you become involved in this case in a sort of different capacity at some point?
Certainly, what I was there for initially, and that was in the role of crime scene search team.
Okay. What was the first thing you did related to that role?
Based on Mr. Ferlazzo's statement, where there had been an altercation, my first assignment, if you will, was to photograph Mr. Ferlazzo to see if we could detect any marks, bruises, scratches, anything like that.
And the jury has seen the interview room and this process happening.
Okay.
When you first went into the interview room to do this, did Mr. Ferlazzo indicate remembering you or give any indication that he remembered you?
Yes.
And did he remember you by name?
I don't recall if he remembered me by name.
Okay. And so did you in fact take photographs of his condition?
I did. I also collected what we call buccal swabs to get a DNA sample from Mr. Ferlazzo.
Okay. And Your Honor, the state would seek to admit states 25 through 36.
States 35 to 36. I'm going to write down how far we have come, and then we'll pick that up tomorrow because I'm going to get ready for my stream with Alice Nurkecloud in half an hour, but I need a little time to take this down, set this up, and have a little talk with him. And we are how long into it? Why can't I see that? Well, I can't figure that out. I'm an idiot. Well, gonna write that down on a sticky note that I can't remember why I have in the morning. And then we are gonna try doing that 12 creators for Christmas thing. In half an hour, I'm gonna redirect you to the stream. Alice Nurkecloud will be joining me for the first time. Never spoken to the guy before. We're going to talk a little bit about how, why, and what he is doing, and just hang out, have a casual conversation, trying to learn a little bit about him. And then we're going to pick up this trial in the morning. If it doesn't go on too far, I might do it later tonight. But go grab yourself a cup of coffee. I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee. And come in here and help me welcome our new friend and show him a good time and how nice the nicest chat on the internet is. Zach will be permitted, but he has to be nice and not yell. Auf Wiedersehen. So go do that, and we'll see you in a little bit. This one we can probably speed run in the morning because. See ya later. Where is it?
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.
So there